What is tourism? Who are the tourists? Where do they come from and where are they going? Why is tourism important? And how do we manage tourism? These sound like simple questions, but they can be surprisingly difficult to answer. Let's start by hearing what tourists, industry workers and academics think.
Tourism really presents an amazing opportunity for us to present conservation to the world.
I travel a lot for business, so tourism for me is about the things that I get to do in a different place, somewhere around the world, around the time when I need to be working. So whether that's eating in a local restaurant, maybe having some time off to go and visit a local museum or some sort of architectural attraction that I'm interested in, and that's sort of, I need to fit that in around the times that I'm working. So that's what tourism is to me.
Tourism is important for Brisbane and for the state of Queensland and all of Australia because it delivers fantastic economic benefits to the city.
Tourism for me means more work and more interesting work, and it also means I'll get the chance to travel, see more places, and that'll expand my career as well.
Tourism means to me the opportunity to create a starting point for engagement with so many people across so many different parts of our community.
Tourism for me is really about broadening my understanding of the world. It's about exploring new places. It's about meeting new people and adding to this map that I have in my head of what the world looks like. It's also about stepping back from my life, getting a chance to relax, maybe a chance for adventure, doing things that I've never been able to do before, like snorkeling in the Great Barrier Reef, going to a local art museum, or even just learning about the history of the place.
Tourism is very important from a knowledge point of view and expanding your own horizons.
Like what you have seen on the video, the task of defining tourism is not as easy as it may appear. So there are a lot of definitions for tourism that will depend on the perspective of a person. Since tourism is a multidimensional phenomenon, it is difficult to describe. So there are attempts have been made in the past to formulate a standard definition of tourism, as well as with the tourist throughout the world. So one of the first attempts to define tourism was that with Professor Hunziker and Kraft of Bern University, Switzerland. They defined tourism as the sum of phenomena and relationships arising from the travel and stay of non-residents, insofar as they do not lead to permanent residence and are not connected to any earning activity. So this definition distinguishes tourism from migration, which involves taking up permanent residence, since it is necessarily includes both travel and stay, but it excludes day tours. The definition of the Tourism Society in Britain was tourism is the temporary short-term movement of people to destinations outside the places where they normally lived and worked, and their activities during the stay at these destinations. So from this definition, it was reformulated by the Tourism Society in Cardiff. The Tourism Society is the equivalent of our Department of Tourism in the Philippines. So the Tourism Society in Cardiff said that tourism may be defined in terms of particular activities selected by choice and undertaken outside the home environment. There are 5 main characteristics of tourism. Because the tourism is complex, it is said that it is a combination of phenomena and relationships. Phenomena is the situations or events and the connections. It also has 2 elements. So the dynamic element, which is we also called the journey, and the static element, which is the stay. The journey and stay are from and to destinations outside the place of residence and work. The movement to destinations is temporary and short term, with the intention to return within a few days, weeks, or months. Destinations are visited for purposes not connected with paid work that is not to be employed, and not for business or vocational reasons. So tourism in the pure sense is essentially a pleasure activity in which the money earned in one's person or the individual is spent in places visited. So tourism represents a particular form of a leisure and a particular form of recreation. Next, let's proceed with the definition of hospitality. Before we discuss, let's watch the definition of hospitality by Danny Mayer of Gramercy Tavern in New York.
I think that people who think that hospitality is just for restaurants are completely missing the boat. I think hospitality is probably the single most powerful business strategy that doesn't get taught nearly enough in business school. What we've learned in our business is to understand that service and hospitality are completely different topics. Hospitality is a dialogue. If you feel like I'm on your side, hospitality is present. If you think I did something for you, hospitality is present. If you think I'm customizing an experience for you, hospitality is present. We believe that the way you make people feel is what they remember more than anything. If you're going to provide the most powerful, sustainably lasting hospitality experience, believe it or not, we've learned you have to put your customer second. And that's not something I was ever taught growing up. I was always taught the customer's always first, the customer's always right. What we've learned is the best way to make the most customers happy is to make sure that the people who come to work in your organization are having a great experience coming to work. I think customers are expert at reading, is your staff focused on their work and are they having fun with each other? And if those 2 things are present, I can almost guarantee you a great customer experience. What we've been able to do in terms of hiring employees is to hire people 49% for their technical skills. You can be the best cook in the world or the best sommelier in the world, and we don't want you on this team unless you have the 51% emotional skills that lead to somebody who's got what we call a high hospitality quotient, a high HQ. And the 51% skills generally add up to somebody whose greatest pleasure in the world, having nothing to do with how good they are at their job, but whose natural wiring says it matters to me to make people feel better. And we've been able to identify what those 6 emotional skills are that are always present in somebody who's a 51%er. Kindness, optimism, work ethic, curious intelligence, empathy, self-awareness, and integrity. We have an expression around here which is always be collecting dots so you can always be connecting dots. There's absolutely no excuse not to know who you're talking to and not to know what's important to that person. And in order to do that, I've got to be collecting dots. We have search engines, we have databases, we have all kinds of opportunities to know who's here, who are they dining with, when did they last eat here, what did they order, what were we talking about, and we keep notes on all of that stuff. And then we put those connections to use for people that make them feel that this is a customized experience just for them. Gramercy Tavern, we're in a day and age with the internet where every good new idea we have, if it's truly a good idea, gets copied. And the shelf life of innovation is, it's probably about 5 seconds today. Nobody can take out their smartphone and take a picture of an act of hospitality. They can't take a picture of how you made my heart feel. And so, yes, we're going to keep innovating. Yes, we're going to keep performing at our maximum capacity. But we're going to go to town on the stuff that you cannot copy from us. I tell our team here all the time, you think you're in the restaurant business? Forget about it. This is just a box. It's a hospitality box. That's the advice I would give any business, is put it out of your mind that you're selling a car. You're selling happiness, and you're selling emotional comfort. And if you can understand who I am and what my sign says when I walk in, where else am I going to go?
The main point of Mr. Mayer is that the hospitality involves your connection with the guest, how you would talk to them and how you would respond to them. That's why he said hospitality is a dialogue. It's a two-way process. As a hospitality professionals or tourism professionals, you have to have a 49% technical skills and 51% emotional skills. The emotional skills will include your kindness, optimism, work ethics, curious and intelligent, empathy, self-awareness, and integrity. And according to Mr. Mayer, if you're on the service industry, you have to keep on collecting the dots. So you could connect the dots. What do you mean by that? You have to observe the informations that you can get from the guests. So you could build rapport with them. Once you build rapport with them and they already have the emotional attachment, or they were very satisfied with your hospitality, they will keep coming back on your place or on your company. Like what we have with the meaning of hospitality, or from the etymology of hospitality, it's from the word hospitare, which means to receive as a guest. So this phrase implies that the host is prepared to meet a guest's basic requirements while the guest is away from home. One of the requirements of the guests are food, beverages, lodging, or shelter. The hospitare is also related to the words because some words came also from the same Latin root. For example, hospital, hospice, and hostel. In each of these words, the principal meaning, or it still have the same meaning, which is a host who receives, welcomes, and caters to the needs of people who are temporarily away from their homes. So, isa lang yung meaning nila kahit na iba't iba pa yung words talaga niya. Let's go to the meaning of tourist. So, in 1937, the League of Nations defined tourist as a person who visits a country other than that in which he or she usually resides for a period of at least 24 hours. So this was held to include persons traveling for pleasure, domestic reasons or health, persons traveling to meetings or on business. Persons visiting a country on a cruise vessel, even if for less than 24 hours. But in 1963, during the United Nations Conference on International Travel and Tourism, they recommended a new definition of the word visitor. So dati tourist lang, pero nung nagkaroon na ng conference for travel and tourism, nabuo na yung meaning for the word visitor. So si visitor is any person visiting a country other than that of earning money. Basta hindi siya nagtatrabaho and they visited a country or a place, they are called visitors. And they have two classes or two classification. First classification of visitor is the tourist. They are the temporary visitors staying at least 24 hours. And they have a purpose like leisure, recreation, business, family, mission, and meeting. Second classification of visitors is excursionists. So they are the temporary visitors staying less than 24 hours in the destination visited. They also do not make an overnight stay. For example, the cruise travelers. Today, the definition that we use for the most countries are the one that they have formulated during the conference last 1963. That conference is entitled United Nations Conference on International Travel and Tourism, and it was held in Rome. Four basic elements have been used as a criteria for defining travelers or tourists. They are distance, length of stay at the destination, residence of traveler, and purpose of travel. In distance, it is a difference between local travel or traveling with a person's home community and non-local travel or traveling away from home. It excludes commuting to and from work and change in residence. A measure that has been used to distinguish travel away from home is the distance traveled on a trip. So what do you mean by a trip? A trip is a time a person goes to a place at least 100 miles away from home and then they will return. Length of stay at the destination is the second criteria. So in this, it was a criteria used if you're classifying a visitor. If you're going to classify them as a tourist, which makes at least one overnight stay in a place, or excursionists that do not stay overnight. Residence of the traveler is the third basic element of travel. If it's for business or research purposes, it is important to know where the people live. And the fourth basic element is the purpose of travel. It can be divided into 7. Visiting friends and relatives, conventions, seminars, meetings. Third is business. Fourth is outdoor recreation. For example of outdoor recreation, it's hunting, fishing, boating, and camping. Fifth, entertainment, like sightseeing, theater, and sports. 6, personal, like family, medical, funeral, wedding, baptismal, and 7, other purposes that was not mentioned on the first to 6 purpose of travel. To analyze the nature of a tour systematically, it will be helpful to understand the difference between the domestic and international tourism, as well as independent and package tour. The domestic tourism refers to travel taken exclusively within the national boundaries of the traveler's country. Example, you will visit Boracay and you came from Cavite. People find it easy to do the domestic tourism because there are no language, currency, or required documentation barriers. International tourism involves the movement of people across international boundaries. If you're a Filipino and then you will visit Japan or Korea, that's part of international tourism. For some, it is more difficult to travel outside one's country because the country visited has a different language or a different currency, or there are documentation requirements such as passports, visas, and other conditions of entry to be met by the tourist. So as a tourist, you can avail a package tour or independent tour. A package tour, sometimes called inclusive tour, which is an arrangement of transportation and accommodation bought by the tourist at an all-inclusive price. And the price of the individual elements cannot be determined by the tourist because the price of the individual elements were already arranged and organized by a tour operator. Again, like what we've discussed on the week 1, tour operator is the one who organizes the package tour purchases for transportation, hotel accommodation in advance. Usually they usually obtain those at a lower price because they are buying them in bulk or in wholesale. Independent tour is an arrangement which the tourist buys these facilities separately, either making reservations in advance through a travel agent or en route during his or her tour. They are the one who make their tour itinerary, or they are the one who will make the reservation for their tour. Tourists purchasing package tours may do so on the basis of either individual or group travel. Independent inclusive tour, or the IIT, is one in which the tourist travel to his or her destination individually, while the group inclusive tour, or the GIT, he or she travels in the company of other tourists. When the tourist is already in the destination, we have what we call tourist products. So this consists of what the tourist buys. In the wider sense, tourist product is a combination of what the tourist does at the destination and the services he or she uses during his or her stay. There are 4 characteristics for the tourist product. The first characteristic of a tourist product is a service. It is an intangible item. It cannot be inspected by a prospective purchasers before they buy, as they can only avail it during the tour. The second characteristic is that the tourist product is largely psychological in its attractions. It is more than a collection of services, for example, an aircraft seat or hotel room. It is the temporary use of environment plus the culture and heritage of the region and other intangible benefits. Another characteristic is that the product tends to vary in standard and quality over time. A package tour cannot be consistently of equal standard. Still, another characteristic is that the supply of the product is fixed. Example, the number of hotel rooms available at a particular resort cannot be changed to meet the changing demands of tourists during a particular season. So the unsold hotel room or an aircraft seat cannot be stored for another sale, as is the case with tangible products. Aside from the tourist product, we have tourist destination. So this is a geographical unit where the tourist visits and stays. The success of the tourist destination depends on the interrelationship of the three basic factors: attractions, amenities or facilities, and accessibility. Kindly change the second and third factors. The second factor is amenities or facilities, and just add the third basic factors, which is accessibility. Attractions may be site or event attraction. The site attraction is the one which the destination itself has appeal, while the event attraction are drawn to the destination solely because of what is taking place there. So, example of event attraction is congresses, exhibitions, festivals like Ati-Atihan Festival or Sinulog Festival, or the sports events like Olympic Games. Attractions can also be natural or man-made. Amenities or facilities includes accommodation, food, local transport, communications, and entertainment at the site. Accessibility means having regular and convenience of transport in terms of time or distance to the destination from the originating country at a reasonable price. So it is also the entry point and exit point of a destination. We also have tourist services. The travel and stay of tourists is a wide range of services, and the principal tourist services are supplied by passenger transport, which provides the means to reach the destination as well as the movement at the destination. Distinctions in transports are between public and private, domestic and international, and among the various modes like land, sea, and air transportation. The second group of tourist services is accommodation, food and beverage, and entertainment. A third group of tourist services consists of the services provided by the travel agents and tour operator. And other tourist services includes currency, documentations, information, sightseeing, and shopping.